everyone, I'm Ripley Francis, and today I'd like to introduce you to another wuxia fantasy novel. Today's novel is called Peerless Martial God, and if you like the sound of today's novel, then you can find it by clicking on the links below. If you like wuxia and fantasy in general, you can also scan the QR code to join our WhatsApp group, where you can find plenty of wuxia and fantasy novels, as well as meet people from around the world who like reading the same things that you do. So let's get into today's novel. It follows a protagonist called Lim Feng. Now, Lim Feng starts off the story as a very normal guy with very normal ambitions. So all he wants to do is study, work hard, and make his family proud, typical stuff. That is until he finds himself falsely accused of rape. Now, unfortunately for Lim Feng, the justice system doesn't go too well in his case, and he's actually found guilty and convicted for 10 years in prison. Now, that would piss anyone off, right? And Lim Feng in particular doesn't react to it well. When he gets out of prison, he finds that his life has been completely ruined. He feels that he can no longer get a job, no longer interact with his family. Everything he wanted is now gone. So he decides that rather than rebuilding his life or trying to get on in society, he feels, at least he has no option other than to kill the people who falsely convicted him and then kill himself. As you do. Not in the most stable of mindsets there, but I guess that's a debate for another time because that's what happens in this story. Now, when he kills the people and kills himself, rather than dying, as you would expect if you kill yourself, he actually finds himself transported into another body. Now, the body that he's transported to is that of another guy, also called Lim Feng, who's a cultivator. Now, unlike typical wuxia stories where one soul almost takes over the other body, in this story, the two souls, so the two guys, both called Lim Feng, they actually merge together. So they end up sharing one body and one soul, but two sets of memories and two sets of skills as well. Now, when this happens, Lim Feng, who is now one person with two personalities, decides that he is going to take revenge upon his cousin who had beaten him up earlier. And this actually begins his journey and his story as he decides that he wants to become the greatest cultivator in the world. Now, in order to do this, he has to travel through lots of different empires and lots of different fantasy worlds. So if you like hearing about different fantasy worlds and different fantasy landscapes, then you might enjoy that aspect of this story. Also, in his quest to become the greatest cultivator, he has to please the different rulers of all of the different empires that he meets. And this sometimes involves taking different exams, passing different tests, or completing quests. So there's quite a lot of subplots in this story, which you might like or you might enjoy. If you decide to check out this story, if it sounds like it appeals to you, then you can find it by clicking on the links below. You can also learn about lots of other stories by checking out the videos that are on our YouTube channel or on this site, in fact, if you're watching it on the website. And thank you for watching, and I hope you do check out the others or subscribe to this channel because it's always great when people do that. Thanks a lot, and bye!